Welcome to 21st Sports recap and reaction for the Dallas Cowboys at the Buffalo Bills in their Week 16 matchup played December 27th, 2015. We're going to go over the scores and the stats and give our breakdown and analysis. The Cowboys scored first in this game. Dan Bailey hit a 46-yard field goal that capped off a 5-minute drive, and that made it 3-0 Dallas over Buffalo, with just under 10 minutes still left to play in the first quarter. So the Cowboys opened up the game with that field goal. And then as the first quarter was coming to a close with less than a minute left on the game clock in the first, Carlos Williams scored on a 1-yard touchdown run. They didn't get the extra point, so it was 6-3 after one. Then in the second quarter, with about 5.5 left before halftime, the Cowboys tied this game up with a 22-yard field goal by Dan Bailey. So the Cowboys had gotten down into the red zone but couldn't get into the end zone. So it was 6-6 at the half. Then in the third quarter, Dan Carpenter put the only points on the board of the third, a little past the midway point, a 32-yard field goal that made it 9-6 as Buffalo took back the lead with just over 6 minutes left in the third. Then in the fourth quarter, with just under 2.5 minutes left to play in this game, Mike Gillislee scored on a 50-yard touchdown run, and Dan Carpenter added the extra point, and that gave the Buffalo Bills a 10-point lead with the score 16-6. Then on the kickoff following the touchdown, Whitehead fumbles. Tarpley had an interception earlier. He forces the fumble by Lucky Whitehead, not so lucky. It was recovered by Dixon for Buffalo, and the Bills would run out the game clock. They brought it to the 2-minute warning, and then after the 2-minute warning, Tyrod Taylor took 3 knees in the victory formation as the Buffalo Bills hold on to win this one 16-6. They're now 7-8 on the season, 3-4 at home, and the Bills still have a chance to be 500 on the year if they can win their final game at home and be 500 not only on the road, which they already are, but also at home. And the Cowboys, they're now 3-5 on the road, 4-11 on the season. And in this game, Tyrod Taylor, 13 of 18, 179 passing yards, no touchdowns, but the 1 interception. Mike Gillislee, 9 carries for 93 yards and a touchdown. He also had 2 receptions for 16 yards in this game, giving him 109 total yards on the day. Carlos Williams, 17 carries for 76 yards and a touchdown. He also had 2 catches for 21 yards, which gave him 97 total yards on the day. And Tyrod Taylor, T-Mobile, also had 14 carries for 67 yards in this game. Sammy Watkins, 5 receptions for 84 yards to be the leading receiver in the game. And for the Cowboys, Kellen Moore, 13 of 31, 186 passing yards, and an interception, no touchdowns. Darren McFadden had 19 carries for 99 rushing yards. He also had a negative 1 yard on a reception, bringing his total down to 98. Butler had 4 catches for 74 yards, and Terrence Williams 4 catches for 62 yards. Jason Witten had 1 reception for 12 yards, as he actually passed Michael Irvin for the most games with a reception. And then we look at the kickers in this game. Dan Carpenter, 1 for 1 on the field goals, 1 for 2 on the extra points. Dan Bailey, 2 for 3 on the field goals, did not attempt an extra point. And on defense for Buffalo, Tarpley had an interception. He also forced that fumble there on that kickoff on that special teams play that pretty much sealed the deal, although they had the game pretty well in hand at that point. Rolando McClain had a sack for the Cowboys. Barry Church had a forced fumble. Olatoye had an interception. Sean Lee had a half a sack. Lawrence had a sack. And Greg Hardy had a half a sack. We look at team stats. 19 first downs for Buffalo, 14 for Dallas. On third down, the Cowboys 7 of 14, 50% conversion rate on third down. And the Bills were 6 of 14, 42% conversion rate on third down. They went for it once on fourth, did not convert. The Bills had 408 total net yards, 307 for the Cowboys On the ground, the Bills ran all over Dallas, 236 net rushing yards as they averaged 5.9 per rushing play. Dallas 121 on the ground netted, so they actually had 4.8 netted. It was pretty decent, but the Bills, just amazing running game. We look at the passing yards in this game. The Cowboys netted 186. The Bills netted 172. Taylor was sacked 3 times, losing a total of 7 yards. Penalties in this game, 8 against the Cowboys for 65 yards, 7 against the Bills for 62 yards. Both teams had 1 fumble, which they lost. And then in the red zone, the Cowboys 0 for 1, 0%, and the Bills 1 for 4, 25%, as both teams were struggling in the red zone. We're playing really good defense in the red zone. But 31 minutes and 30 seconds time of possession for Buffalo, 28 minutes, 30 seconds for Dallas. This was a low-scoring defensive battle, old-school style football. It was all about the ground game for both of these teams. But with Buffalo, they had a lot more success as they just kept pounding it. And Taylor, not a lot of pass attempts, but he had a pretty good completion percentage. As that's been the story for the most part this year. Is they haven't asked him to do too much, and he usually over-delivers. Of course, he also contributed on the ground. That's why they call him T-Mobile. But Gillislee having another good game, and Williams contributing as well. And Sammy Watkins having another good game, although he didn't break the 100-yard mark or get into the end zone, but he did make some nice catches. And the Buffalo Bills come off with the win at home. Like I said, they're 1 win away from being 500. It's not going to get you in the playoffs, but it's still nothing to shake a stick at. It's Rex Ryan's first year in Buffalo, and so if they can build upon the success, I mean, they've now seemingly have found their quarterback is Tyrod Taylor's been having a pretty good year, and if they can build on that success moving forward towards next year, and we'll see what they do in the off season. Of course, the Cowboys this year has just been kind of a throwaway. All the injuries, and it started off rough as it was. They never really found their running game. Darren McFadden, though, did have a pretty good day, just 1 yard shy of 100 on the game on the ground. But, of course, no Romo. And, of course, with Des Bryant and everything, still, though, Witten continues to write history. But Buffalo coming away with the W. But let me know what you think in the comments section below. Definitely interested to reach your thoughts and opinions. Thank you very much for listening. It's greatly appreciated. I hope you're having a good day and had a great weekend. And enjoy all the sports.